Hey there, today is day 304 of the Trump administration, and I have committed to making a daily video every day of this administration. And so I was thinking today that are you living your values, and what is the purpose of your life? So I think that this is a question a lot of people struggle with, and the very first video that I made 302 videos back was living your values. So I have identified my top values, my top 6 values, which are gratitude, joy, nature bathing, love, service, and justice. And I realized this past week, starting on Tuesday, I have really lived my values, especially this weekend when it comes to service and justice. But so first of all, gratitude. Gratitude is a basic force of my life. I wake up every morning and say, today is the best day of my life. I focus on gratitude and how much I have to be thankful for. And then we have joy and nature bathing. By nature bathing, I mean not only spending time in nature, but really absorbing it. So this week, looking at how I've lived my values in the last week, nature bathing, climbing inside that redwood tree, and all of these are reflected in the videos. So I went back and just looked at, I don't watch these videos generally. Sometimes I even watch them before I post them. They are unedited, unscripted, and unfiltered. But when I do go back, I look at the titles. I keep track of all of the things, the different topics that I have done. And it stands true that after 304 days, or 303, whatever it is, that it's how I'm living my values under this administration. And I feel that I am, living my values. And when I get that opportunity, especially with service and justice, it really fills your heart. It gives me purpose and meaning in my life. And so nature bathing, climbing inside that redwood tree, a couple of videos back, which I love that redwood tree. Right now you can see I'm out in the redwoods. Oh, this is kind of cool. Someone has added this little angel here. That didn't used to be there. And then every Friday at church, I'm always at an isolated beach, and that's where I do some serious nature bathing. But love, every video ends with lead with love. There's been so much love in memory this week with Veterans Day, finding that, remembering the story of the sweater that I did a couple days ago, being with my Mayday girls, friends that I've had for 40 years, and spending time together. There's the love, but then the service and justice. So I feel so blessed that this weekend I did my first live. It was an hour live. I still have to look at it. I am going to post it up here. And that was to support the Transformative Justice Center of Monterey. So I did an hour live from a reconstructed prison cell with some of the formerly incarcerated men who are part of Empathy in Action. And I got to hear the speakers and to be in that place of healing and transformation and to be of service. I am trying to fundraise. You can go to the top in my bio. You'll find a link to the Transformative Justice Center. They do need funding. They are the home of Empathy in Action, a program so close to my heart. So that was so great on Saturday to do that. Then Monday, I got to go to jail, and I volunteer with the public library to check out books to the incarcerated men. I love to talk about books, and so having those conversations with the men, book recommendations, talking about, plot lines is always really satisfying. And then to go into Soledad with Empathy in Action. So there's 70 incarcerated men, 30 volunteers. And this time we got to bring a friend or family member if they wanted to join us. And I was able to share the deep experience that I've had. We break up into small groups, which we call family, and we have deep discussions. And my friend was so impressed with the emotional intelligence, the vulnerability, the accountability that these men have done, and the deep sharing. And I appreciated that one brother who is quite a force has been in San Quentin, which is usually the place that you think of for programming in prison. It's like the Harvard of prisons. But he said Soledad has something that even, San Quentin doesn't have, and that's empathy in action. So it was great to have that, to be of service, to be fighting for justice. And then finally last night, I was an observer with Neighborhood Justice, online observer. Usually I'm a participant. So actually, I think this is the first time I was an observer looking at a local case. I can't talk about the case, but I can say to see the volunteers, to have someone who's caused harm, this is a second chance for them, first time offender, and to see the way that they had such compassion for her and how they worked out a solution that really felt restorative. And it is so different than the punitive criminal justice system that we have. And part of the problem is I see these cases, I can see that often the police are adding harm rather than keeping us safe. So I could talk about that on, I'm sure I'll be talking about that. But to live your values, so I would suggest make a list of what your top values are. It'll be different for everyone. And then, I got this idea from The Light We Give, which is about the Sikh religion. And it is check either daily or weekly. These are what you say is important. How much time have you spent actually living those values? So I was blessed this week to have the opportunity to live my values, and it opens my heart. So to have purpose is so important, to have a way that you feel that you're making a difference, and taking action rather than being overwhelmed and feeling powerless. Do what you can from where you are with what you have. So this is Juju Unfiltered, unscripted, unedited. Lead with love and live your values. It really does feel good.